Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my cousin Brian Levin and my friend Ariel Lemon of the Shapeways, I present to you Michael Bell.
Hey Ariel, hi Brian, hi gang.
And can you give a shout out to my friend Lex also?
Who?
Her name's Alex Williford.
Lex, okay Lex, shout out, Michael Bell.
Awesome. So what I wanted to do was a couple of things. I wanted to ask you some questions, and if you had time, wanted to see how you are at role-playing. I've got a couple of trading cards here with characters on them. You wanted
you're gonna be in deep trouble with that one, because I can't recall a lot of the characters that I played.
Well, these aren't characters that you voiced, Mr. Bell. Not
What's that?
These aren't characters that you know.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right.
This is going to be an exercise, like probably what you would give to your students.
I see. Okay.
So let's start off with something real world. How have you been holding up during COVID? How has it affected you? And would you have gone to BotCon or San Diego Comic-Con during a year like this?
Oh, no, I never go to Comic-Con. Oh, you won't see me in San Diego. I just went once, and I barely escaped. No, that's not for me. I'm doing fine. I miss the conventions, I must be honest with you. I love meeting the fans. I love traveling around the world, which I've done with the conventions. And around the United States, places I've never been. So I miss that. And eventually I'll get back to it, I suspect, if I don't get COVID first. Hey, you got to remember, I'm 82 years old. I'm primed for the virus, so I'm hermetically sealed. I'm not allowed out of the house. No, I'm fine. Hey, this is good. I got a nice place. I got a lot of land to live on, and got my dogs, got my cats. So I'm just worried about the rest of the world.
Yeah, me too. But did you see the inauguration?
Oh, hell yeah, Lady Gaga. Woo! And that young poet, boy, that poet laureate, I got such great hopes for.
She barely took a breath.
Oh, she was that was rap poetry, and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm holding up. That's me.
I'm really happy. So I've got about 20 questions for you. I really hope that's not going to be too much.
No,
Number one, what is the most common question you were asked at BotCon or by fans like me?
What's your favorite role that you've played? And there's another question, was if you had an opportunity to do it, what role would you wanted to have done that you didn't get a chance to do? Or what show would you like to have been on that you didn't get a chance to be on? Those are the two basic questions.
All right. Well, I can cross 2 questions off my list.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I want you in the second question to look for your inner Duke, Conrad Duke Hauser from G.I. Joe. In reaction to last week's insurrection, what do you think his response would have been?
I think he would have mowed down the crowd.
Pretend that I'm General Hawk. What would you say to me in your Duke voice if I was General Hawk?
Weapons ready. Anybody moves forward, take them down.
Beautiful. Okay. Number 3. What are 5 of your favorite roles that you played in the 80s, and what are 5 that you played from the 90s? If it's all blur, you can...
It's a blur. It's pretty much a blur. I don't know what the heck. I guess in the 80s would have to be Gleek. It's hard for me to think beyond that. 90s, wow. I guess Opus and A Wish for Wings That Work, which I did for Spielberg. Chucky's dad, Chaz.
Share these things with Chucky.
Well, I'm just afraid he'll miss her.
Then you can miss her together.
Chucky, this is your mommy.
And Grandpa Boris, those are my 3 favorite characters. I fashioned them after my grandfather and my grandmother on both sides of the family, since they sounded alike since they came from the old country. So.
Run away! No,
No. I just felt bad about yelling at Grandma Minka, so I came up here to get her wine glasses and got locked in. That door won't open from the inside.
That's right. Everything is over there. Good boys, good kids. And it's Hanukkah, not Hanukkah. Hanukkah.
Number 4. What were your relationships with Frank Welker, Casey Kasem, Don Messick, Peter Cullen, and Neil Ross like when you were working for Sunbow Marvel?
Well, we were all friends. I mean, working buddies. I mean, we didn't all get together and have drinks or anything of that nature. There was so much work going on that we just met, we played, we joked, and that was it. I thought Messick was sensational, very, very talented guy. Frank, uber talented. I mean, all these guys. Casey, hello, how are you? Talked, and that was it. He was sort of private. Casey was more private than the other guys. But we were all just, working. We worked together. That's pretty much it.
So you felt sort of a brotherhood between your fellow voice actors?
Nah, I don't think there was a brotherhood. I enjoyed working with voice actors because there was not that need to be handsome, pulled together. We came in like schleps and did our job. When I was doing on-camera work, I was always with people that needed to be beautiful or handsome or something, for the most part. So you spend a lot of time in front of the mirror. That's why I loved voiceover work.
I always hoped that there would be synergy between people like you and your fellow voice actors.
When you say synergy, I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, I mean, like, you've seen how toxic Hollywood can be, nowadays especially, where people have delusions of grandeur just because they've been the star of a show or they've been...
You don't see that in voiceover. You don't see that in voiceover. I haven't seen it. If it's there, I certainly haven't seen it. I think everybody knows that the person on your right or your left is able to do the voice you just did, is able to sound just like you, and may even be a better actor in the final analysis. But you were just fortunate. You were the first one in the box, and you got it. They said, yeah, it's for you, whatever, etc. Unlike on camera, it's a whole different story. So that's why there's that sense of greatness, or whatever you want to call it, that they think they are unique. I don't know how many people there are some unique on-camera actors. There's some people you watch and go, I don't care what they do, they're brilliant. But I don't think there's that feeling in voiceover. Not anybody I've ever met. Don't forget, I also teach it. And since I teach it...
I haven't forgotten.
I
really wish I could be a part of that class.
It's fun. I look at the people I taught. I taught Mary McDonald Lewis, Neil Ross, Pat Music, Bob Bergen. These were all my students at one point.
Pat Music is the mother of Mae Whitman, right?
Yes, she's Mae Whitman's mom. Right? She was in the Smurfs. I've trained a lot of people. So and there's not that delusional quality that an on-camera actor or actress might have. I know I did soap opera for a year. Boy, just couldn't get to the mirror.
What soap were you on?
It was called Morning Star. It was a precursor to Days of Our Lives.
I'm more of a General Hospital fan, which is kind of funny because both Mark Hamill and Leonard Nimoy were actually in that long before they were ever in sci-fi.
Didn't know that. That's interesting. You probably know that I did a voice in the original Star Wars as well.
I'm ashamed to say that I didn't.
Didn't know that. I did Commander Willard.
You're safe. When we heard about Alderaan, we feared the worst.
We have no time for SARS, Commander.
And I was brought in by Lucas to replace some of the English actors. And I did a couple of the, I replaced some of the English actors, some of the young guys from the Federation that were dying, and I got hit, oh wow, and all that stuff. And then they asked me to do Commander Willard. And Lucas wanted me to do the guys at the council. And they were sitting on the council, and one of the guys questioned Darth Vader, and then he starts to choke because Vader starts to choke him. And so I dubbed his voice, and then he played it back, Lucas, and he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Why are you using my voice for that? That guy's really good." And he said, "Yes, but I want to replace him because he's English." I said, "Well, you shot it in Britain. Of course he's English, because you didn't use a lot of American actors other than the three majors." And he said, "Use him. He's good. Leave him in. I'll do Commander Willard. I'm here to work. I'll do Commander Willard for you. I don't want to leave and not work." So I did that, and then it must have been about maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I was going to a birthday party for Richardson, for Kevin Michael Richardson, and it was aboard a boat. And I happened to be getting out of the car at the same time as Mark and his wife, and I knew Mark. And as we were walking, the wives were talking, so Mark and I started to talk. And I said, "Did you know that I did Star Wars?" He said, "No, you didn't." I said, "Yeah, I did." He said, "No, you didn't." I said, "I did." He said, "You weren't in Star Wars." I said, "I did the voice of Commander Willard." He said, I said, "Yeah." He didn't know it either. I didn't know it. I didn't know when the movie came out. I forgot that I had done Commander Willard. And then it was fans that started to say, "Oh, can I have your autograph?" I said, for Star Wars? Why? For you, Commander Willard. So it's really interesting how every people, and I'm not giving credit for it. I mean, my name isn't on the crawl. It's just they know my voice. It's interesting.
Well, I'm hoping that people who are watching this video they learn that right now and that they never forget it.
Yeah.
There's a clip that I want to play for you
Sure.
from Real Ghostbusters. I'm hoping that you can hear it.
No, you can't go to Hawaii. You'll go to where you're addressed, like it or not. Why? Come on, give me a chance. You guys never deliver every letter you get anyway. Who'll notice? Why, I oughta. Hey, come back here.
Okay, so I know that the guy on the after was Lorenzo Music, but was that your voice who said, "No, you can't go to Hawaii"?
I honestly don't know. I have no idea whether that's me. I don't recall. Listen, I sometimes get a residual for shows I didn't even remember doing so long ago.
I honestly do think that if that isn't you, it might as well be you because it sure as hell sounds like
I don't
you.
know. I have no idea.
Next question. Do you remember your time during Transformers the movie?
Yes.
When you were alongside Leonard Nimoy and Robert Stack and Eric Idle, how did that make you feel? Did you feel starstruck?
No, because I wasn't alongside them. We all worked separately. We all worked in studio. In fact, I begged Wally, the director, Wally Burke, to let me go there when Orson Welles was working. And he said, "No, nobody can be allowed in the studio except the engineer." I said, "I'll pose as an engineer. I can look like an engineer." He said, no, I can't do that. Really wanted to see Orson Welles. But I didn't work with Leonard Nimoy or Robert Stack or any of those people. None of us did, to my knowledge. I didn't even work with Frank or Peter in that. I mean, we all work separately.
That doesn't take away from how awesome.
Oh no, it's interesting. No, it's still well done, but it's much more fun when you get to work together.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to become a voice actor in the first place. It was sort of a boyhood dream that I could go back in time, meet my idols like you, and work in the studio with you because I can imitate a few voices. I've heard that Wally Burr is notorious for how long you'd stay in the studio and how many times you'd go over.
Was notorious. I don't think Wally's with us anymore. I believe Wally's gone. But yes, he was notorious for wanting things done his way, but he was sweet about it. He got caught up. He was very passionate about it. And I joke with him about it. We did Humanoids with him as well, and G.I. Joe, of course.
You've been in two movies that, in my opinion, were kind of cursed because there were two deaths associated with each of them. In Transformers the movie, Orson Welles and Scatman Crothers died during or after production of the movie.
I think after. I don't think it was during. I wouldn't know.
In the Jetsons, George O'Hanlon and Mel Blanc. Both of them died during production. Jeff Bergman had to fill in the roles.
What movie is that?
The Jetsons movie, where you were the code.
Oh, yeah.
You got the tall guy on you.
Shall I give him the Elroy elevator?
What else? It's the only shot you got. Get out there and sink it, or I'm sunk.
Yeah.
And you were also one of the executives.
And so I guarantee to reverse the slight downside of our profit picture with the newest development of Spacely sprockets and spindles.
It had better be good, Spacely.
It's better than good. It's cheap. The Spacely sprocket and spindle orbiting or asteroid manufacturing plant, unlimited. This plant will produce spacely sprockets and spindles at 1/10 of what it costs down here.
Yeah, when it's working.
I beg your pardon?
According to my reports, this space station has worked a grand total of 3 days in the last 6 months.
What, 3 days?
This is an outrage.
What's going on here? Well, that's because we've had leadership problems.
Yeah, my feeling exactly.
You got it locked in. I don't even recall, to be honest with you. I remember I did it, but I don't recall. Mel was a sweetie pie. Mel was very dear man. He was very enormously talented. I don't know if there's anybody that can match Mel. In fact, Mel had on his license plate KMIT. And when we were doing Speed Buggy together, and I said, Mel, was that a radio station that you worked at? He says, no, Butch, it means Kishmir and Tukas.
Oh my God. Oh, it's perfect. That is so perfect.